Butterfly, welcome back to my channel. It's France. As you can see, we're still not live. I'm still on the road somewhere on this planet Earth, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a layer a day challenge. So here we go. This is week 34, going from August 24th until August 31st. And August is still all about speeches. Before we jump in, again, I have a little shout out to give. And this time it's going to all of you butterflies out there who have been doing all the August challenge in a row up until now and who are about to start their 4th August challenge. Well done you. Give yourself a little pat on the shoulder. You are doing good. Keep on doing just that. So speeches, we have done some very serious speeches. We have done some very light speeches. Well, just one light speech. And we're going back to the serious stuff because that is how we roll. We had big laughs last week with our laughter challenge. For the serious one, we are going to listen to that one little speech that is on repeat in our head. And that is that one sentence that starts with if. If this, then that. We all have that kind of sentence in our head. We all do. And some of us have many of those sentences in our head. I'm one of those people. Oh, I'm going to pick just one and focus on that one. I don't know which one just yet, but if. I'm a firm believer that the time is never right, that we're never going to be ready for it. And nonetheless, I still have those if speeches in my head. And I was wondering, what is it that pushes ourselves to give ourselves those conditions to realize something that we really want? Okay, it must be a human thing. Nonetheless, it's not because it's a human thing that we just have to accept it and just go with the roll. So I thought maybe we can break that circle this week by talking to ourselves about that little if sentence and how we could change that speech we're giving ourselves. There's a couple of questions that you can ask yourself to go to that challenge. First of all is, what is holding you back from realizing the if? If this, then that. What is happening, what is making it so that you cannot realize that if? Is it something that you could realize? Is it something that you really want to realize? First question. Second question, what if that if is not fulfilling its promise? If I lose that extra weight, I will be happy. Are you sure? I know this is something I'm telling myself. We're all on the same boat for this one. But what if that's not true? What if that if is not fulfilling its promise? So why am I holding on to that if? What's the deal here? And I think it's a good thing to have a look at that to become real about it. Third question you can ask yourself is, what could I do to jump directly to the condition? If I lose the weight, I'll be happy. What could I do to just be happy without losing the weight? I'm just taking that one as an example because it's just so easy. I mean, there's a lot of ifs out there. Pick yours. Pick one of the many yours that you have and go with that one. And now I can hear you say, okay, I have a lot of ifs. I picked one. How do I journal about that? Well, there's a couple of things that you can do. First of all, you can start with a vision board. You can start by picking a couple of images from magazines, from wherever it is you want to go, grab them, that represent that condition that you want to, not that condition, that second part, the realization that you want to go after, and make a vision board about it in your art journal. Having that thing in your art journal will be a very good thing when you look back through your art journal to have the reminder, oh yes, that is what I wanted to have in my life. That is what I should go after. So vision board is one thing that you can do. A second thing that you can do is, well, I actually start with a speech. Writing to yourself in your journal. You can cover it up, you can leave it there, being very visible. It's all up to you. It's your journal and you have to do what you feel comfortable with it. Another thing that you could do is go for a color palette that corresponds to the feels and emotions that would come to happen if you would jump straight to that condition. Let's do that again. So another thing that you can do is go with a color palette that would represent the realization of what it is you would like to make happen in your life. Was that even a sentence in English? I'm gonna say yes. Let's roll with that one. And I know it can be complicated to know what kind of color you want to associate with what feels. Just grab that first thing that comes to mind and go with that. When you're thinking about, that is what I want to make happen in my life, and that's yellow for me, then go with yellow. It's your journal, so even if there's no correct thing to go about this. It's just something that you have to feel and go with that feel. So color palette, and make that grow in your journal. Another thing I wanted to say is there's two ways to go about this. No matter what way you want to do it, with a vision board or color palette or whatever it is, you can do this in two ways. You can talk to yourself in a nice way and gently lead you in that direction, or you can give yourself a pep talk. Whatever it is you want to do, I'm gonna leave that entirely up to you. Just be aware of what it is you want to give yourself, and then give yourself just that. If I talk to myself nicely, maybe I would love myself more. That's a nice if to go with. If you struggle with how to... That is Snape telling me that I have a message that I should read. If you struggle with how to associate what it is you do in your art journal with your emotions, please know that I have a weekly overview of my A Layer a Day challenge for my patrons. That is for as much as $1 per month. One per month. Not one per post, one per month. And I post every Sunday a complete overview of my A Layer a Day challenge of that week, where I explain why I went for that or that color or that shape, and how it associates, that's a hard word to say, and how it associates, I said it's a hard word to say, and how it associates to the words and feelings that I want to put in my journal. I also explain why I didn't do things or how I did the things. It's just text, it's not a video, it's just completely written out with every step-by-step photo where I explain my red thread through the week. So if you are considering becoming a patron, the link to my Patreon page is in the description of this video, and I'm sure that all my patrons out there are listening and watching. Love you guys. So I'm looking forward to see your layers for this week. You can post those in the Facebook group. The link is in the description of this video. For my patrons, I'll see you on the Patreon page and in our closed Facebook group. I'm looking forward to your layers this week, you guys. See you on Monday for a new journal on Monday, and next week for a new challenge. Butterfly kisses.